Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about income tax. So before that, if anyone is actually wondering why there's a logo called LHDN Malaysia on the first page, if there's anyone wondering lah, LHDN is actually an agency that collects and administrates taxes. So moving on, what is income tax? So income tax is basically a tax that is imposed on income earned by an salaried individual and a company operating in Malaysia. So when we talk about salaried individual, it doesn't mean everyone that is working and getting paid. This salary individual that needs to pay income tax are people who earn around 34,000 ringgit per year per year. Then is actually required to register as an income tax payer. So these individuals have to register as a taxpayer. Excess annual income. Excess means like they have to calculate or analyze their own annual income and pay income tax annually. And they also have to report all kind of income sources they have and tax, which is tax exemptions, tax reduction, tax relief, and tax rebate. So all the tax that I just said, you can actually refer to page 104 and 105 in textbook if you want to know more about it. So this report has to be submitted by income tax return form, which is ITRF, either by a form or by internet, which is the website is called EZ Hasil. So moving on, there's a system called the self-assessment system that has been implemented since the year 1919. It is for taxpayer to calculate their own income tax, keep records, and pay a certain amount of tax. So there are three steps in this system. The first step is self-assessment. So self-assessment means that make own income tax calculation. So assessment is made for the previous year. So for example, assessment for the year 2019 is actually made in the year 2020. So the deadline for submission of ITRF and tax payment for an individual who does not own a business is 30th April, and people who own a business is 30th June. So people who does not pay within this deadline will get charged or fined. So secondly is to keep records. All documents such as forms and original copy of receipts must be kept for 7 years. So when you talk about receipts, right, it doesn't mean every single receipt that you have. So for example, if you go to Starbucks and then drink a cup of coffee, and you get a receipt, those receipt doesn't necessarily need to be kept. The receipt that is meant here is the receipts that include a big sum of money. So for example, you bought a new laptop, a new phone, a new car or something. Those kind of receipts has to be kept for 7 years. So thirdly and lastly is the payment. So the payment is made in a lump sum to Inland Revenue Board, or you can do it by monthly tax deduction, which is PCB. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, now we go to the consequences of tax evasion. If you are eligible for the tax payment but you fail to submit the annual report for your tax payment or your business thing report, okay, you will get a fine of 200 to 20,000, or you get imprisonment less than 6 months, or you get both. Next, if you make omission on any income in the income tax return form, like you neglect to do the form, and you also give incorrect information that will affect the income tax payable for own or other person, the consequence, you will get a fine of 1,000 to 10,000, and you will get also a penalty of 200% of the amount of tax which has been undercharged. So if you like have to pay for 1,000, now you have to pay 2,000 with the fine. Okay. Next, if you evade intentionally or assist other to evade the tax, first you will get the fine of 1,000 to 20,000, or you get imprisonment for less than 3 years, or you get both. and you get also a penalty of 300% of the amount of tax which has been undercharged. So that's the consequences if you evade your tax. So please pay your tax for the country. Thank you.